kids, welcome to the table. It's just your dear old dad tonight. We had a couple of absences for the game for Iridia, and so we decided to postpone until next week. And I gave our third player a night out to say, hey, I'll just cover it myself. And I wanted to get this to the table. Now, I will say, I made sure my announcement said spoiler alerts. This is a big spoilery game. If you're ever planning on playing this game, I would advise that you find something else to watch tonight. But if you want to watch Dad muddle through a puzzle that is probably not going to be solved tonight, stay tuned. And I will open this game right in front of you guys. We'll walk through it. We can talk through it a little bit, and I can kind of show you what's going on here. This game is called City of Six Moons. I would like to point out that it was discovered by Emma Bell Holland. Not created by, discovered. And there's a reason for that. The back of the box tells us more. Now get ready. Hopefully I gave you guys a chance to get out. Now's your last chance. I'm going to start talking about stuff. As near as I can tell, this is an alien civilization building game for a single player. There only seems to be components and rules for one player, and when I asked them about it, they seemed perplexed. I watched them play it once before they returned into the black, and only one of them moved the pieces, doing so silently while the others chatted. Whether they were playing the game cooperatively or whether they were merely commentating, I can't say. I choose to translate the title as City of Six Moons, though I think this is at best a clumsy approximation. This glyph is probably closer to city-state, but that feels clunky in the mouth. It also means laws or rules. It also means culture and measure. It also means story or legend. It might mean game, but that's conjecture on my part based on a few of the above meanings. I chose the meaning that embodies the physical space, both because of the shape of the glyph and to frame it as a Civ game. This probably means 6, as it's nearly identical to the glyph for that number, but those two tiny extra dots are bothersome. Perhaps it's just a stylistic quirk. I don't think it represents a different number. I've seen their glyph for 60, and that's not a significant number for them anyway. The only other place I've seen this particular version of the 6th glyph was on some of the other boxes they brought with them, so it's possible that it also means game? I am sure this is moon, but I'm also not sure what is meant by moon. The glyph is also used to denote a passage of time. I'd assume that it correlates to a month, but if so, the match I observed ran for 36 moons, not 6. Perhaps it's a reference to 6 literal moons. Perhaps each unit of time is the alignment of 6 moons? Moons might also refer to smaller satellite polities brought into the city's orbit by conquest or trade. When I watched the game being played, it concluded abruptly and was scored when the 6th disc was claimed. I could not find any reference to this game end condition in the rules, and I'll confess that it doesn't make sense to me from a game design perspective. It wouldn't allow you to maximize your score, and so would disincentivize you from expansion. Perhaps it's a folk rule of some sort, or some cultural assumption that I can't comprehend. That's all we know. So the game has been established as a found game, and the initial impression is what is described by the discoverer. So with that, let's see if my camera is going to decide to work. Hey, there we go. Here is the box. City of Six Moons. And I will open it now with you. I might have opened it once just briefly to look at the components but not in any detail. So I don't remember what's in here. So I'll put this here for now to kind of identify what it is. And we have in here a bag of components. We have a bunch of little blue discs, a couple of blue humanoids, and a couple of red humanoid type pawns. Those are interesting. We have a deck of cards. Let's see what these look like. So we have 4 cards here with a similar back, and a series of different symbols on them. Some of them are similar in some cases. Some of them are different. These seem to be representations of the little pawns that are in the bag. Something like that 6 symbol they were talking about, but again, don't know for sure. A couple of partial representations of their city-state symbol, the top half of it, anyway, top part of it, and all of them have all these little things all along the top here. So, interesting. A couple of yellow markings of the top one. A couple of these, I don't know what that is, it's even close to that. And a couple of these sets of, these are like 6 little orbs, or 6 little circles with something in them. Might be representative of the little discs, I'm not sure. So that's interesting. We have a rule book of sorts that seems to show something like card positions. There is a playmat in here, and then the box here is just empty with the description on the back, so I'll set that aside. So this is like a fabric almost, like a printed linen of some sort. It's very, very soft and flexible. I get the impression maybe there are some setup recommendations here. I do see these symbols here. They show cards adjacent with alternate colors of the circles that are the half circles on the back of this card. You can see they have these half circles that kind of line up. And these also have a differing variety of symbols on the back of them, so they're not identical. I guess I can get some of the other cards here. So these are, again, so they have, these ones have four reds up here. There are 4 blues up here, and then these have 4 reds up here. I think I have these cards upside down. That shows 2 blue and 2 red. So let's assume that this is upright. If this is upright, this is upright, these are upright. So then we've got these cards that have 4 blue, and these cards that have 4 red. And then these cards, oh, that's kind of a color mismatch. I'm going to assume that that's actually supposed to be the same blue as the other ones. And then we have these and these. Now, interestingly, oh, are these double-sided? They are, okay. So this shows the single building or single city symbols on top up here. Now, I couldn't tell you if these are in a particular order or not. Red, blue, red, blue, red, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, blue. Might that be shuffled? Don't know. And then this shows a stack of the threes, which I guess are kind of off to the side here, perhaps. They do show the red ones in the foreground of the blue ones as such. Interesting. And then, yeah, this, they show these. I'm going to take these guys out and we'll see what they're trying to tell me. It's a lot of little discs. Get our little guys up here. And a little pile of discs. Who knows if they're going to be used. Let's see here. So they show this kind of centralized. Okay, so there are page numbers. So as I see it, this page has a single triangle here. This page has 2 triangles. This is hard to see. 2 triangles, 3 triangles, 4 triangles, 5 triangles, and then you get that 6 symbol, which is this, but it doesn't have the two little dots. It has a line across, but not the 2 little dots. And then they show that 6 with a single triangle here nested. It's 7. And there's a note on the production back here. As much as possible, I tried to present Six Moon City, if you read it in the left-right order, as it was presented to me, and as it has been played for thousands of years. I have not provided any interpretation of the rules or rebalanced any of the cards, even in cases where I think the design might be improved. For example, I'm still not sure why the rival civilizations track tokens accumulation separately. When I asked about this, they seemed quite upset, so I left it alone. That said, there are unavoidable physical differences. The board should be made of thick, transparent glass with the token pools etched into it. Our canvas playmat is a very poor approximation indeed. However, I was led to understand, it being a traditional game, that there is some variation in board material, so perhaps this downgrade is excusable. Less excusable, perhaps, are the wooden discs. It should be played with delicate, translucent shells, roughly the shape depicted on the cards and in the rule book. So they do show these little shells on the cards. So those are the discs. They are concave on the bottom, allowing to stack atop another. These are the shells of some kind of small animal and come in a variety of colors and patterns. When stacked together, the melding of colors can be quite striking. It is not uncommon to gently wave a light over the game while it is being played. If the light hits the shells, the colors bloom in brilliant auroras. I do not think I will ever see something as beautiful again. I briefly considered using glass stones, but they of course wouldn't stack and wouldn't fit comfortably on the board. More than that, it felt wrong somehow, like some kind of pathetic, cruel parody, like I was defiling something sacred. Wooden discs are so obviously not the thing, so as not to trespass. I considered changing the symbol on the cards and in the rules so as to match the disc, but every time I tried, I was overcome with emotion. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I apologize for any confusion this might cause. I mean, they're all in the application of the found game sense, right? The change, the way that they present the game development. And it does make you feel like I'm trying to figure this out and have no idea where to begin. I feel like it's as if I might as well be playing a game that has been ruled completely in Japanese, because I don't know kanji. I know some Japanese words, but I don't know how to read. So it would do me no good. Even if they wrote it in here, I would not understand what it was saying. So kind of the same idea here. This is very much just pictographic. Interesting. I mean, yeah, there's some symbology on here that doesn't even there's no context. So I guess I have to kind of start figuring out what goes where. So like right here, assuming that this is setup, then do these cards then actually have to be set this way? It does look like they're representing these two here. Now I don't know what this is telling me. There are these two overlapping half circles with kind of like a Venn diagram effect in the middle. Kind of makes you wonder why 6 becomes the next symbol. It makes me feel like maybe the aliens were 3-fingered. So they would get to, like we get to 10. 10 changes. You don't have a single digit, it's 2 digits. In the same way here, there are 3 fingers, we're only able to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so 6 would become the next step up, maybe. Although one could argue with 7. Maybe they're 5-fingered. Anyway. And there does seem to be something about partial circles versus complete circles, because they do have that down here. And they do show a 6 and discs down here. So let's see, I guess, if I'm interpreting this setup correctly. It looks like they're putting this card here. I need to make some room, so we're gonna tuck this down here for the moment and make sure I have enough room to set up. I've kind of zoomed my solo game in a little bit here. So it does indicate that there's a bunch of these single cards up here. I don't know if they're in a particular order, so I guess I will just kind of look for that maybe. Maybe that would help also if it was an introductory game, an introductory version of the game, is to find the cards and set them up exactly as they appear. So we've got this one. Visible for you. I might have to turn off my picture-in-picture here. And then there's a blue one. And the symbology on this rulebook is a little small, so bear with me while I try to interpret what they're showing me here. Looks like that. Yes, so there's that one. Oh, I see. This is a 4 and 2, so that does tell me also. The cards look like, oh, they're numbered, okay. Each of the cards is numbered, so that helps me a lot, because then that makes sure I know exactly what goes where. So we'll do this. All right, maybe I'll get across here. And then the 4th blue card. And then we got the 1st red card. And then the 5th red card. And these are not going to fit in my picture, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that one off, I think. You guys don't want to see me anyway. You don't need to see me. There we go. How about that? So we'll get these set up here. Thomas Wally. I don't think they're going to fit that way either. It's going to be tight. There's like 12 of these, so I will try to fit them in as best I can so you guys can see what I can see. And you are more than welcome to chime in if you want to participate. If you have ideas, feel free. I don't mind. It just gives me more ideas to play with. So we need the third blue card. There we go. And then the third red card. Second blue card, no, sixth blue card, that's what it is. Sixth blue card there. Yeah, this is gonna be tough. Sixth red card. And then the first blue card. Fifth blue card, right off the screen. So it's 16 to 9. I wonder if I can change that filter a little bit.
No.
Buy me some more space here.
Quiet. Get over here.
Let's do this.
No.
800.
You need to be quiet.
That was
Quiet.
160, 10, 990 is 450.
Quiet.
That buys us some more space. Haha. Okay. Alright, now we should be able to see all the cards just fine. I don't know if my screen is actually not quite. Let's get that all the way over there. And that should give us just what we need.
Come here.
All right. I think we got them all on there, didn't we? Boy, just barely. Like a glove. All right, now, based on that, now there's a card. It's this one. They have positioned here. And they seem to be indicating that a blue guy goes here, and a red guy goes here, and 6 discs go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are here for reasons. If I'm assuming that to be, that the assumption is that this is a setup scenario. All right, this is telling me how I'm supposed to set the game up. Now, strangely enough, this says 4. Oh, I wonder if, so these two, no, wait, this is one of these. See, already, I don't know what to do interpreting the symbols, because this
is this card here. But this is also this card. Do all of these have red blue on them? They do. Okay, so then I'm going to interpret this to mean that I shuffle these. Are they all the same? They do. Okay. So 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. 2 here, 1 here. And what do these mean? So you can't see it there on the screen because it's too bright, but and it's not even that bright in here really. It's just my contrast is way up. There's a red and a blue semicircle around here. And I wonder what if I do that? And then do I flip these over? Okay, and then this seems to indicate that there's a disc here, maybe, and then these are here, and then this goes here and here. Now, there's a risk that, you know, in the game they've overloaded the meaning of the discs, and so when they're in one position they mean one thing, in one position they mean another thing. So if that's the case, then I really don't have a clear understanding other than the symbol that the disc is sitting on to represent what it is. Now, like this card shows a 6 and the symbol, which is right, this symbol here. So those at least correlate. But I really couldn't tell you what it means. I will say that they do have a triangular symbol in the center of this, but it's the other direction from the numerical symbol, so I'm assuming it's not a number. So it said one there, but there is another little symbol here, which is kind of like a partial Venn diagram, next to the disc in the setup that I'm not entirely sure how to interpret it. There's a little symbol here that shows, basically it's like 2 C's, but they're reversed and overlapped. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I can't represent it. I guess it'd be kind of like this, right? They look like this, and they have like a Venn opening in between them. They're partial. This does seem to indicate that there should be 3 discs here, and there should be 6 discs here. Okay, 6 discs here. And then there's a symbol here that is a full Venn diagram with disc, and I wonder if it means all the rest. Now, one thing I'm not entirely certain about, Wally is most displeased upstairs. One thing I'm not certain about up here is that they're showing they're showing discs. Oh, is it based on these symbols here? So they have this chart, but this symbol appears twice, and this symbol appears twice. But here it's 3 times. 1, 2, 3 here. 2 and 2. Maybe those are just preset. I thought it was representative of the counts up here, but it's not. Because there are 2 and 3 and 3 and 1. So what this is showing is there should be 1 here and 2 here and 2 here and 2 here. Maybe. And then it shows the two little pawns over here. And I'm kind of compressing the view a little bit. They're showing this down here and these above, but I don't think positionally they don't have a relationship to each other in that respect. Now they do show here, these cards are just kind of waiting. So if we assume city, state, right? This bigger symbol here. If this is like city state, then maybe this is city, or it's a smaller version of this. This symbol appears a lot. It appears at the top of all the cards. It appears in multiples on these cards. And there's a note up here. There's a symbol here I don't understand, followed by city, followed by cards. And I'm wondering if ultimately these might be shuffled and just spread out. I mean, I've put them in the order they show in the picture just to kind of help me organize the information. But at this point, I'm pretty sure the only other thing that might be possible is that these 2 enclosed circles here that make the Venn diagram is representing infinity, and that there's an infinite number of these tokens in this pool. Perhaps. So I'm going to kind of position these here just as kind of a representation. And none of the rest of these have any on them. So I get the impression you've got a couple of different resources here. I feel like this is representative of like people, but I don't know for sure. And this is of course the city symbol. We'll call it city for now. All right, so now they're giving me this fantastic image here. Let's see if I can get us some illumination to help view that. It might be helpful. I can't guarantee though. Yeah, it's not very helpful. So we'll just have to go with it for now. But this is giving me this, I don't know, there's this organizational chart. Where this area here has an arc and it shows a completed circle that then leads up to here. And then there's a point here in between these that has a doubled circle they're mostly overlapped, leading from point here to point here and point here to point here, seeming to indicate that perhaps the two of them together do something. Although there does seem to be an indication of a back and forth relationship. And then from here to here, it looks like there's a circle with a line through it. So a circle with a vertical line through it. And that path seems to go from here down to a circle, a point here. Perhaps again indicating a one-way relationship. From here to here, these kind of go back and forth, and then from here to here. This is, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be critical to understand what some of the symbology means, like the partial circles and the overlap partial circles. It's interesting, too. They show I think they're using black to indicate genericism versus blue or yellow, or blue or yellow, blue or red that indicate like specificity. So they're saying if a pawn does this, then that pawn is represented in black, versus a blue or red is indicated specifically in the rule set. Like here you can see black versus blue and red, right? So that's interesting. They also show these symbols here, these little blue and reds, which would be created from these if they match up. What do the backs of these cards look like? That's just the second. That's the second city tier. So it doesn't really give me a whole lot to run with here. Although I guess they're yellow backed also. So that might be what this yellow city symbol might mean. Or also these yellow resources, for lack of a better word. I feel like I don't know, there's this whole chart here and card layout. So where do these cards play? Okay, so interesting. So they show there's a moon symbol here, which I'm assuming might mean a turn. If they're talking about turns on the back of the box being like 36 turns, 36 moons. There's a moon here. They're trying to talk about like how a turn works. And they certainly seem to be indicating like there's this phantom outline of card layouts, like what this is showing here with cards in it. I see, and maybe they're using. It's a grid. It's a grid of 8, so it's 3, 3, and 2. And I get the impression that what they're indicating here, so you're like going to build this grid of cards out of these. And how does one do this? So there's a, they have the partial circle, the C, with a vertical line in here also, perhaps indicating allowed, not allowed, is a possible interpretation. Um, the symbology is interesting. So okay. So first, oh, is that a paid cost? I wonder. Because they do say like this here is the circle with the slash, right? And this is the complete circle. And they show here on the card that looks like you're gonna, on your turn, you're gonna take a card, and then you're gonna do something with a meeple, with a pawn. So when you take the card, you pay the cost in the upper left. So in this case, like if this card indicates it costs what looks like wood, I'll call it wood. You pay the wood, and it goes to the whatever, I guess the expended area, the spent area. Okay, the pool. And then that's because it has a 1 in front of it, so that's the first step. Then the second step is that you gain from the available pool whatever it shows here, I presume. I see some cards that show 2 or 3 things. So I'm not sure exactly what happens there. And then 3, you place the card into that grid. I'm going to need room for the grid, so let's look. I mean, it doesn't say it's playing to the right, but I don't know how else. How else I do it? I can slide everything over, I suppose. Either way, let's do this. Let's slide this over here, and we'll slide these over. I don't know where the fourth card's supposed to be in there or not. So we're just gonna do this, okay? And then let's reposition this, because for some reason it kind of makes sense to me because of the way the rule book is laid out to place this card grid to the right. So we're gonna do this, and then we'll place the card grid here. So there is this. There's this connective idea here. And it definitely looks like there are some rules for how you can or can't place a card. Now, I don't know why they offset these, but how would you, if that's the case, how would you get... Well, I can't hear anything you're saying. Very low volume. Oh, well, thank you for telling me that, Time Roller. I appreciate it. I am looking down from my microphone. I wonder... Let's see what my settings are here real quick. Sources. My audio input capture is here. My properties. Wow, it's just the mic. I wonder what's changed. Is it on the wrong mic? You would, I mean, that would be my first assumption, except it's the only mic I have active that's not muted. Let's see if I can adjust. So it's that mic. Test. Ah, boy, I can barely see anything on there. Well, manage sound devices.
Input. This one. Well, that's not helpful. I can disable it. Okay, there's the microphone. OBS. App volume and device preferences. How did that help at all? Sounds like you're in a different room. How is that? Did that change anything? Man, I can't do anything. No filters. Still low. Man, you know, this is what I get for resetting my computer. Those are my headphones. Open sound settings. Test microphone. I can see that the input level is very low. I wonder if just unplugging and replugging in the USB would actually make it better. Huh. Let's see here. What are you doing? That's just shape. What if I just... That's just not terribly helpful. Like it is. Let's just do this. I'm gonna lose my download. Well, what happened? Anything exciting? I don't see anything exciting. Yeah, I was in the sound control panel. It wasn't behaving very well, though. Sound settings. Sound control panel. Oh, goodness. Let's see here. We are in control panel. Give me the sound. No. Recording. Microphone. Throwmax. You. Properties. How did we do? I'm in Windows 10. I see my levels are a little higher. How is the audio now? Is that a better pickup? Much better. Well, I did crank it up to 100, so I might have to dial back or get a limit in place at some point. But no, don't. Well, I'm glad it's better anyway. Never go over 80%. Okay. Well, Windows is not not behaving all the time. So this is going to be this and this. Okay, that's at 80%. Oh, did they? Well, that's unfortunate. All right, well, this is 80%, so hopefully that's okay. And I don't know what would have adjusted it before, but you know, it's very exciting streaming, and never know what I'm gonna never know what's gonna happen. And eventually, I need to go to a different wired mic, so it's not USB anyway. But one step at a time. I hope you're having a good night tonight, Time Roller. Did you play any good games today? Oh, do you know when you're doing your preview yet for the wallet game? For those of you that are watching and not necessarily participating, Time Roller is he likes to teach games. He seems to do pretty good at it. I like what he does, and he's got a preview coming up for a soon-to-be Kickstarted Button Shy game. So check him out. If you haven't followed him, give him a follow. Clips audio. Keep it at 80. Cool. Good to know. I have it at 80 now, so hopefully that's loud enough for everybody to hear. And again, I am kind of talking down at the table. I guess I could probably change the microphone to my headset, but I wasn't prepared for that. I was working on my video so you could see it, and of course I see it's not really it's not updating because I unplugged it. So let's see if we can get that back. It's an exciting day. We're doing new things. Let's see. Did we get the thing? Looks like we did. Fantastic. One more thing. Definitely need to not do that. Okay. Sweet. Your PC just rebooted, and here I was talking to you and everything. I hope you've been having fun today. Been 105 degrees. Oh yeah, I get that. Do you know yet when your preview is going to happen for the Button Shy wallet game? I'm looking forward to seeing that. I was telling everybody about your stream, teaching games on your stream and being able to preview that. So. Feel like maybe Thursday. Sweet. You know what? I don't have anything planned on Thursday either. I'm looking forward to that. Hey, Tater Tales, thanks for the raid. Appreciate all you guys coming in. Welcome to the stream. Time Roller here has been informing me that my audio has been awful, so hopefully it's been improved. I know I fixed my alert. That's one thing I got right today. Welcome in. Hope you guys have been having a good day. Have you guys played any cool games today? All you taters out there. Back here. Thank you. Tell me all about it. Hopefully,
hopefully, if you don't want spoilers, then you're in the right. If you don't mind spoilers, you're in the right place. As we're trying out City of Six Moons. Grab us a little bit of light here. Seems good. Yeehaw! Okay, so I'm going to get back to trying to interpret symbology because I don't know anything. It's all guesses. All I know is that I got a bunch of pieces and some symbols that I think make sense. There's something about a grid of cards here I'm supposed to play and then activate that I haven't figured out yet. Finished a murder mystery tabletop game. Ooh, like a legacy game? Multiple plays for the murder mystery? Or is it just a single play? I'm curious. Tell me more. Regale me with tales, taters. And in the meantime, I'll explain what I know about this game. This triangle symbol means 1. And they stack up to 5. And then they go to 6. It looks different. Let's see here. I'm pretty sure these are resources of some sort. These could be some kind of finished good, but I haven't really seen anything talking about them yet. The cards look like they have a cost and a benefit, and then you play them into a grid, and then you use your pawns to activate them. I think. It's all very confusing. This symbol means disc, so like these discs here. Pretty sure that this is telling me what happens in a turn. Right, you turn. You sort through the evidence and try to solve the murder mystery. There were 4 chapters to it, so it took a couple streams. Interesting. It sounds kind of like Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. I know that at least I've seen in a box of one of those that you basically, they just present you with a bunch of stuff. Like there's literally like a newspaper with many columns of text, and you can kind of try to pick elements out of it to put things together. Sounds kind of similar. What is this game called? It sounds like fun. I get the impression that although I set these cards up in the order they show on the front in what I think is the setup, I believe they're probably shuffled. But I don't know that that means that this game is called City of Six Moons. Are you having a stroke? You know, it kind of feels like that. It is definitely called City of Six Moons. What is Tater's game called? The murder mystery game. It's more intriguing, I think. I'm just sitting here puzzling things out. I guess, yeah, I get the impression that those could have been shuffled and put out. Yeah, I know. I've already forgotten Time Roller. I don't even remember. I have to start all over again. um, yeah, man. So these symbols clearly indicate things. I think it's like things I can do and things I can't do. But I don't know how those relate. This has something to do. These patterns have something to do with when you lay out the grid here, which is the third step of the turn, from what I can tell. And then the fourth step of the turn is looking for these completed circles. You get like these half circles in the colors. I don't know how you would get complete circles, because technically the blue ones and the red ones don't line up together. Because that red partial circle always appears on the left, and the blue partial circle always appears on the right, on the blue and red cards. Even when you flip them over, the second side does the same thing. There's just, I mean, it's so crazy what they're doing here. Maybe they're indicating that this is like the whole symbol on the corner of the card. The intention was that it was for it to be a complete circle, and it's just partially represented on that part of the card. So first you pay a cost, then like you lose the resource. Apparently figuring out the set directions is part of the mystery. It's all part of the mystery. Everything is mystery here. Yeah, they only gave you a few clues. The idea, lots of people discuss it in the Google Docs. Google Docs, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't doubt it. But I didn't, of course, I wanted to try to kind of puzzle through it myself first, obviously. But yeah, I definitely, lots of spoilers out there. What really frightens me is that the game has been out for a while, at least a year. I saw a date somewhere here, probably in the back of the box. Yeah, copyright 2024. So the game's been around for about a year, and yet people are discussing it, which I think is great. And I will probably get to that point at sometime, just to kind of confirm the assumptions that I've made. But yeah, I don't know. It's tricky. So yeah, first you lose whatever it shows in the upper left corner of the card. Then you gain whatever it shows on the right hand side, and that comes from this pool. So there's only so many discs here. It tells you to put 6 here. So I'm under the impression that at some point you have to get more discs in here, or else you don't gain whatever it is you're getting off the card. Oh, interesting, because these do kind of correlate to left and right, but I don't know. There's a symbol here that looks like a Venn diagram, a vertical Venn diagram, that could be interpreted as infinity, which would mean like all of these discs are supposed to be in this area. The fact that it's kind of written off the edge of the mat kind of seems to imply to me that it's this. Just use this area for this identification. But I could not tell you like what these mean around here. So yeah, this is an interesting little puzzle. And even after I read through it, I might not figure it out. So, pay a cost, get a benefit of moving a disc from here up to whatever it gives you, which sometimes might be 2 or 3 things. Then, the third step is to put that card into your tableau, so to speak, this thing here, this little arrangement. Yeah, so step 3, take the card, put it in the tableau. But there are rules for that, where you can put the card. It seems like you can put the card adjacent to a blank space, or you can put the card adjacent to a like color, but you can't put it next to an unlike color. However, that doesn't seem to correlate to the information I see here, which is, I mean, they have alternate color cards here. So how do I reconcile this information with this information? How did the blue card get there? Not knowing that, but then observing here what I see, I see when you place your pawn, the color type of the pawn determines which cards in that row or column activate. And I think it activates, oh, I see, it activates the center ability and the bottom ability, and then the third step has to do with this. I mean, it flips it over, like makes it an upgrade. This, I've interpreted this symbol here though to mean like loss. Or a negation. So the little vertical line means no. So that's kind of interesting. But clearly the card is flipping and it's doing something. I couldn't tell you what. Huh. I hate not knowing the rules because I feel like, you know, I want to play by the rules, and you know, how often have we played games on this channel? I mean, there's a reason why I have a cheat counter. You know, that cheat counter is there because we realized later, like, oops, we cheated. And now see, there's this whole, like, I feel like this whole page is just giving me it's like an end of turn scenario, right? Because this, I feel like this means turn, and I get the impression maybe it's like if you've taken 2 turns, because you have 2 pawns, but is that true? And you recall them. But what does this mean? Or do you count them? How many pawns have you placed? 1, 2, 3. You get benefits for that? Seems possibly right. Hey, OT. Yeah, this is kind of crazy. I'm definitely at a loss. I haven't even figured out how to just take a basic turn, let alone what happens after a turn ends. Ah, see, yeah, now. So this means 6. This appears at the front of the book in the setup phase here. And then this one has a little extra circle at the top of it. I don't know what that means at all. I get the impression that this is like the opposing player's actions, because it's a solo game, and so this is like the game engine that's working against you. And that's what this part of this is a rule set to tell me how to do things for the opponent. Now this does seem to indicate these cards. So these are my opposition cards, maybe? I feel like one brain is not enough to figure this game out. Well, and you know, Time Roller, of course, you said it correctly. There's lots of people who are discussing this in a Google Doc, you know, and you know, I'd be happy to engage that at some point, but I gotta feel like I gotta make some progress here by myself first. See, this is showing that disc that I put here. I wonder if this kind of just goes around here. It's like tracking actions that they can take, maybe. It's interesting how this symbology here shows up on the cards, the big circle with the little circles. Hey, PC is much better than phone. You might actually be able to see what I'm talking about. But yeah, you've got circle with symbols, circle with circles. Then there's the circle with like an item in it, and the circles are tighter, like these. Yeah. It's very easy to kind of get overwhelmed by what this symbology is trying to tell you. So I don't want to worry about the opponent turn yet. I'd really like to know what my turn can do. All I know is that there are 4 steps in my turn. 2 of them are very clear. And 2 of them are not obvious. So step 1 is telling me to pay a resource. Then step 2 tells me that I receive whatever benefit comes from the card there. Step 3 says I pull that card into my tableau. And then step 4 has something to do with the red or blue symbol that's on it. If I take a red card, then I take the leftmost card from what's available and put it down by the opponents. That's how I'm interpreting that. And if it's a blue card, I take the rightmost card from the tableau and bring it down to my opponents. Okay? I think that's a thing. I think that's a thing. So I'm going to need room for them to have their cards also. So why don't I pull this down a touch, and I'm going to move these cards, I think, up here? Question mark? Why they gotta be opponent? I don't know. What did it say? It said something in the back here about rival civilizations. So this is an alien civ builder. I'm still not sure why the rival civilizations track token accumulation separately. When asked about this, they seemed quite upset. So this is really the only part I don't think I have a handle on here yet. And whatever these resources are trying to do in pairs, they do something. I don't know what they do something. So the rules here don't seem to indicate what these rules are showing me. So I'm missing something still. Oh, wait a minute. I got it. So the symbology is a little weird. You already did a rival civ faux pas. We're doing I did. Oh, so many. It's like it's three body problem all over again. Hey Dicey, thank you for the consumed beverages. I appreciate the reminder. I'm gonna need it. I'm talking to myself over here, and Time Roller is encouraging me to just be mad. No, Dicey's at Gen Con this year. She said she was not doing her streams, so Ritu and I were taking over her chat. We were going to steal all of her viewers for this week. I hope you've been having fun, Dicey. Well, she took the week off she took the streams off. Yeah, no voice, I'll bet. Which is perfect for chat. Typing takes no voice at all. I hope you had a good time, Dicey. Fill us in on all the juicy details. You can share with us while I'm sitting here running through this. I understand I'm still crying like a baby, but yeah. Don't get me wrong. I was also quite jealous. I think so. If I've got this right, the way the symbology works is the line to the dot is the dot is the destination, right? Yeah, I totally get that. That's okay. Get yourself rested. That's okay. We'll catch up with you later this week. Time Roller's going to be doing a preview on Thursday. We can pop in there together and harass him while he's doing that. I mean, encourage him. That's what we do. We encourage. Awesome. Story time next Monday, which means I have to wait until after I get done playing Iridia, but that's okay. Hopefully I'll catch it on the VOD. I think, if I'm reading this correctly, I can place a card in a slot that is empty, or I can place a card that's of the same color on top of a card of the same color. And then, but I can't place a card on a card that's another color. So once I commit a slot to a color, it has to stay that color. So that's interesting. How am I enjoying this game? Yeah, no doubt. Time Roller's got it right. I've already pulled all my hair out, so I don't have any more to pull. But yeah, it's tricky. I mean, I started at 7, reading the box and opening the box and pulling out this rule book and just trying to figure out setup and how my turn works, basically. That's not even the right page. So I think I've got this sorted out. So quick review. So the line to the dot is the destination. So I guess available. I have a beard. That's different. No beard pulling here. That hurts. That hurts a lot. So if you're using an available disk, so it's available. This, I think that's what this circle means, is available, and it shows tokens going from that zone up to here. That's the destination. It does show up here that there is a possibility of resources from here going out to somewhere or coming back in, so vice versa. And then they show what I'm assuming is kind of like a spent resource coming down to here. The spent symbol. So again, like here, this is saying on my turn, I spend this, and then I receive this, and then I play this card into a slot that consists of 8 cards in this grid pattern here. And the only way I can play them is I can put a color card in an empty slot. I can put a color card on a light color card, but I cannot put an opposite color card. So once I've committed a space in this grid to a color, it's set. And then finally, depending on the color of the card I've selected, I then take either for red the left side or blue the right side card at the end of the line, these lines here, and put them by the rival civilization. This is kind of representative of all the rival civilizations, maybe, I'm not sure. I'm choosing to interpret these symbols as wood, shelter, food, animal. I'm just kind of getting that feel from those symbols. These, I'm not sure, they look like 2 different kinds of finished goods. But we haven't gotten there yet. And I feel like this is people, and this is city. Not city-state, that's different. That would be like this. This would be like city-state. Kind of. That's the best I got. Then I can place a pawn to activate a row or column in my grid. And when I do that, it activates all cards of the same color in that row or column. And when I activate a card, I get the benefit of whatever's in the middle. Then I get whatever's down here, which I have to assume is that I'm gaining a disc in this particular case, since that's what that symbol means, is a disc. And then the third thing, this one's kind of got me confused. I think the problem is that this is showing like, oh, if I pay that, oh, I get it, then I can upgrade it to the other side. I think that's what it means. As an option. Like maybe this is like option. Because it shows that symbol here for the blue or red. So your option is to play one. This is also like third, optionally, you can lose this resource to upgrade the card. Okay. So then you want to be careful about which cards you take if you want to optimize your upgrade routes because you want to have the resources for them already. Okay, I can buy that. So I think I finally have a handle on these 2 pages. And that only took me, what, an hour? Probably an hour. Ugh, goodness gracious. So with that, I guess let's take a turn. I still don't understand where this is tracked. It shows discs in 6. It's these 6. Oh, I get it. I think that's what that means. Interesting. Okay. So there are 4 cards of this type, and you pick 2 randomly, and that creates your opposing or rival civilization. I think that's what's going on there. Okay. Now, so after I do that, then all right, this one's really got me. I sure as heck don't know what the hell's going on here. I mean, obviously, if you're returning pawns, this happens. One each of. If you're turning 2, it's 1 each of. I think this is like if I've taken 2 turns. But then why are there 2 additional pawns? Because it looks like you can. It looks like you can unlock them. You can gain them, maybe? Does that symbol as being gained, does it? I don't think so. Wow, that's 9? I'm getting way too far ahead here. Okay. You know what? I think what this is telling me is this happens between turns. Because I think this is a turn. And then before I take my next turn, I have to do this. Maybe? Is this optional? So see, this symbol, I hope that doesn't mean stack. And what that even means. It certainly doesn't mean disk. But why is it this way instead of this way if it means no? Sheesh. Well, just for funsies, let's take a turn. Even though after I take my turn, I have no idea what I'm doing after that. But, you know, we can sort it out here in a minute, I guess. So, I'm going to slide these over just a touch. They're going to have 6 cards next to them. So I guess this far goes 1, 2, 3, have to set up my Tableau here. So on my turn, I get to choose a card. Probably should be a card I can upgrade easily, I guess. So a lot of these, the center ability is making me lose things to activate center abilities. Like this is telling me to lose one of the finished good types and gain this, which is to get the reward down here. So I get the impression there's a lot of chaining on these eventually. Like you're going to set up a kind of an engine that you can trigger cards to cards, I think. But then there's some that are like lose one, you know, I think this is popular. I feel like this is population. Ooh, so lose one population to add a disc to this? Is this my expansion? I don't even know what's what here. I assume this was mine, and this was the opponent. It has to be right. Well, I need one that's going to be easier to upgrade. But they cost me quite a bit. This one's not bad. This is gain either one wood or one shelter and pay one animal. So let's do this. We're going to take this card. It's going to cost me one shelter, which goes here. I'm going to gain one population from here. And then I'm going to play it into my Tableau, which, I mean, kind of running out of room here. Let's do it this. Let's do this way. I'll bring all this over here. And I can build my Tableau in here. So I don't have a better idea for this card than to just put it here. I know I need room above it to be able to put a pawn, although I could just put it on top. Okay, and then now what I can do, now I took a red card, which means now I take this card off the end and put it here. Now, I have the option, I feel like those crossed C's mean option. Ooh, choo-choo, I like it. Reminds me of the old ASCII art. That's excellent. It's nice when it's actually like when it sticks together well enough. Did you just macro that? You just push a button and now you get that? Because that's super cool. Aw, Dicey. Thank you for gifting the tier 1 sub. Appreciate that. You stole it from another chat? That's okay. Stealing's allowed. Pretty cool though. I like it. But again, yeah, thank you, Daisy. I really appreciate the sub. Did I finish this? Oh yes. I need to place a guy. So I want to place this. I can place it here. And what that will do is gain either a wood or a shelter, which I spent a shelter to build it. I'm going to gain a shelter, which has to come from here. And then I gain, I don't know. I don't know what this means. 2, get the city state. Does this mean I can get a, that's not a card though. Oh, it's one of these. So I'd put one of these in here. I guess. I wonder what is the difference between this and this? I don't know. Yeah, I really can't lock that down. But I do know that now as an option, I can choose to lose an animal. Put it on here. And then I can upgrade this card. Oh, nice, now I gain both. The next time I activate it. Okay. I guess that was my turn. Now, the question is, at this point, do I have to do this? I think I do, because it seems to indicate that it happens between turns. This happens, which is ridiculous. I don't know what this is doing. Something about 2 population and then 2 city states. Well, man. Is this either or? I don't even know. I don't have a handle on this symbol yet. And then there's this route. So there's clearly a line of actions that goes here down. Right? And I've got this that leads to this that seems to be indicating, oh, I wonder if this is checking if these triggered to release a pawn. And then this holy cow. This is doing something here. And there's a whole sequence of events. I think it might let me convert items. In here, first, generate what? It shows circles. Oh, for these, I wonder. Yeah, it must be these. For each one that has a symbol, you gain one from here. So this has this symbol, so one goes here, I guess. So is this can't possibly be my production, is it? Maybe? I don't know. Then, second, I can lose a food or an animal for each person? Well, that might be problematic. And maybe if I can't pay for that, then I lose the person. And then third, gain 3 discs. Or gain a disc per, and then gain a disc per person? I think. It's kind of how I'm interpreting this. So, first, I produce, then I pay either 1 food or 1 animal per person, and if I can't pay the food or the animal, I lose the person. So I'm paying 3, I can pay for 3 people, so I lose 1. Then, third, I gain 3 discs here, plus 1 per person, so another 3. Maybe. That seems like a reasonable interpretation. Could that also mean, that seems awfully complicated, means 0. Although, it is the opposite of infinity. I mean, interpretively. So there is a symbol here in the front that shows those 2 circles overlapped in a Venn diagram in kind of figure 8. Could imply infinity, right? Which means, and I got the impression that meant like all the other discs that weren't set up went here as a supply. And so I feel like this is saying, like for instance, if I don't have a pawn, right, then I recall them and gain a benefit per pawn. Depending on the number of pawns I pull back. Isn't 8 the opposite of infinity because it's sideways? Right? Well, that's kind of what I'm trying to get at is, are they using vertical or horizontal? I don't know. I think what they're saying here is you basically have 2 extremes. You have all or you have nothing, and all is represented by the sideways infinity, the overlap circles, which kind of looks like an 8, and then the nothing is the infinity with the 2 lines across it, like the negation lines. So you basically, it's like the, it's the no. I think. So if no population, then no city-state, although the city-state does that mean end of game? Huh. It could. Because I do see I do see like you've reached the final level of the civilization as that final the capstone, right? You got the city symbol, which is these first two, and that shows up many places like this. And I think this here is evaluating whether or not you've achieved the city state or not, like the end game condition. So the first thing it checks for is the game over? And it seems to be implying if there are no people, then you can't end the game. Then, if you have no pawns, you must recall them, and you get a benefit based on the number you recall. Then, if you have if you have no discs down here, if I'm reading that correctly, if I have no discs down there, then this whole cycle happens. So I didn't gain this. I didn't gain those, but it didn't cost me these either. So I didn't have to do any of that. Didn't gain those. Okay. Then all cities are either red or blue. Is this one? Okay, so this is like per red or blue. But what is this looking for? I feel like this symbol with the black card background for each or it's one city per red or blue if no cities, then I think this means opponent? A rival? I'm not sure about that necessarily. 3 cities and a card. This symbol happens up here. Oh. I think this is referring to these. So you're checking your tableau, or you're checking the availability, and if there are no cards in it, then you shuffle the 3 count stack and deal them out. Ha 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 ha. This game will shred your brain, and then you'll feel smart. I guess. I'm feeling kind of smart. But I do play a lot of games, so you know. Oh, there's another endgame condition here also. If there are no discs remaining in the available pool, that triggers endgame also. Then we check to see if we meet the criteria of these effects. So if there are 3 cities, in this case 3 cities, I gain the red pawn. And if all 6 of these have discs on them, I gain the blue pawn. And if I have one of these, if I have one of these, I gain these 6 discs to population. I wonder if I didn't do anything to cost population. I feel like maybe I have to have them here first. I'm not sure. If I get all 3 of these, this card comes down to my tableau. I have no idea what that does for me if you can't even activate it, I wouldn't think. Because there's no space in it for the pawns. The pawns can occupy the first 2 rows or columns. And then finally, endgame is here. And you score based on stuff. Lose, red, blue, city, gain disc. Oh, for each red, blue, put a disc in your city. Gain 1 in city. I'll have to get to that a little bit. I don't quite understand that one yet. I mean, interesting. This is 4, 6, 7. Is this 12? This is 9. Oh, that's interesting. They stack differently when they do it that way. 12 red, 9 blue, 12. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of indicators here in the end game that I don't see. It's probably not important to figure out right now. But I think I did go through this correctly. I think maybe if I think it's not if this is empty. I think if one color is gone, honestly. For red or blue, if none of them are present, then you do that. Or I don't know if that needs 12 or not. Then there's this scenario. And I think I don't know why these 3 symbols are across here specifically. The card comes down, a disc from here Okay. This is saying what happens for the opponents, the rivals, when their card moves. So when a card goes down, oh, it's the black action. This is explaining what these mean. Okay, gotcha. Um, but why? So there's only have two, and they come from here. Why are there some over here? And if it's city, it goes to here, and this comes. Can it go to either side? You get that impression. Either way, it indicated it goes there. Maybe not. Huh. Well, man, this is something else. So then this tells what happens when cards get placed. I don't know what this is telling me exactly, but so this symbol I think means you gain a card. They gain a card? One or two discs means they go over these cards. And the city card, the city symbol, means it plays one card. It's kind of showing the layout like this a little bit, and it's putting cards over here also. So I'm not entirely certain about. So if it's this symbol with the little disc, that tells you to put a disc on the next location counterclockwise from the supply. If it's got the circle with the circle in the middle, which none of these show, then it places a disc on the location and then generates the supplies. If it has a resource symbol in the middle, it takes 3 from here and puts them directly in the supply. Okay. If it has the disc symbol, you take a disc from the supply and put it on a card in the tableau. They do specifically indicate a blue 6 card that, I don't know, it's crazy. Hey Ritsu, I see you snuck in there. Dicey's learned choo-choos. Pretty cool little emote she's got there. Thank you for the consumed beverages. I will do that. It is going crazy. I mean, this entire stream has been me muddling through how to play this game without a single lick of any sort of Earth language. It's all translation. It's cool. I still haven't figured it all out though. I've got a pretty good handle on the numerical symbology up to at least 9. After that, I'm kind of lost. I think what's going to happen here is I'm going to I'm going to come to a stop here in a little while with the knowledge I have right now. And then, yeah, exactly. And then come back into it with what I know and then try to play a couple of turns to see if I can figure it out. Okay. That means convert. Optionally. That symbol. Option. Oh, swap positions of 2 adjacent resource cards next to these. Still in his kennel?
Mm-hmm.
He seems unhappy.
What?
I said he seems unhappy.
Yeah, he's unhappy. So am I. So,
What did he do to you?
well, I was trying to accommodate him and let him be closer to me outside, and instead he managed to wrap a leash around me. I'll probably have a bruise tomorrow.
Oh.
The pump isn't working, so I don't think it's the pump. I tried a new extension cord, that didn't make it work. There's no breaker tripped, so I don't know what's going on out there.
Is it a ground fault isolation circuit?
Yeah,
Did you push the reset on?
yeah, maybe I didn't do it right, but I finally gave up and did more gardening.
Okay.
Are you done? I presume.
I'm in an ad.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to let him out to go potty, because then I'm gonna go to bed.
I'm gonna wrap up here pretty soon. So I think we're close to back from ads. Based on my my monitoring over on my television anyway. That's good. Yeah, I was just looking this over and trying to think. It's like, it's a good thing I speak the language of games because they've done a pretty good job with the symbology here. It's just a matter of kind of sorting through what they're intending to mean. I think I've got a decent handle on most of what's going on here. There are some cases where there's some little tiny details I'm trying to figure out, but for the most part, I think I can come back to it maybe later on. Preferably sooner than later. Did we ever really leave? Oh, goodness. Oh, time roller. I'm really glad to have you here this whole time. It's been nice to interact with you. I think I'm pretty satisfied with where I'm at right now. So, you know, if I were to say anything, I would say that this game provides a unique challenge in the process of learning and tests your understanding of good design, right? You know, I know Glenn and I like to throw around the term signifier and affordance in the games we've been playing. Good signifiers give you excellent pointers to what you're trying to attempt to do, and the the affordances, of course, are the locations that you put things. So this game doesn't give you a whole lot in affordances. I mean, the map here and the cards a little bit. There's some abstractions that happen in the play field that are described in the manual, but that aren't really obvious otherwise. But the signifiers are all over the place. You have to have good signifiers here in order to really understand how to play the game. I want to take another stab at this, preferably sooner than later, so that I keep some of this information fresh in my head. So I might actually try to throw this one up again here maybe this weekend and take another stab at just kind of walking through the understanding the symbology and everything and kind of refreshing it. And then maybe actually try to play a few turns here and see if I can still understand what's going on. I'm not entirely clear yet about the rival civilizations. I know, right? Those doggone aliens. They get the worst of me. They catch me at a very bad time. But I will say I like the challenge, and I'm up to play with it a little more. And then I think once I think I've got a handle on it, I'll be happy to go back and look up that Google Doc that Time Roller mentioned and discover all the things I've got wrong. But you know, it ought to be interesting. And I do know at least next time I should shuffle these so that they're random. And I think I got a lot of the other elements correct. I guess at least the nice thing is if I streamed it, then at least I have the video to go back and refer to. So hopefully that will work out for me, and I can take another stab at this and have a good time with it. So I think with that, I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight. Tomorrow night, I don't know what we're playing. We haven't made a decision yet about the titles until later in the month. I think I don't recall. Maybe I did set that up, but either way. Yes, beverages. I must consume the beverages. I will do that right now. Thank you, Dicey, for that reminder. A little sparkling ice for today. I gotta check. Yeah, tomorrow I'm not quite sure. I might have actually had the schedule going then. I'll have to verify that in my calendar. Friday, we're gonna play Ticket to Ride Legacy. It's gonna be game 2 with mom and parents. So we'll have the family game night on Friday night, and then next week we will. I've refilled my beverages. Oh no. Well, then it's your turn to have some fun with that. Maybe I can get some ice cream. I didn't get any at the store, so I might have to steal some of my wife's. But anyway, next week we'll have Iridia back on the table, and we'll continue the legacy games from there. But until the next time, I love you guys, and I hope you have a great evening. See you soon.